how I made well over $100,000 on this property just by being patient. Hey guys, I'm Rinde from AskRinde, the #1 community for foreclosure, income, and credit. So we just left our investment property here that's about 4 miles outside of New York City. It's an investment property that I've had for quite a while, and I've made well over 6 figures with that property, and I have equity in the property that also adds to my net worth. I wanted to share a quick story with you all of how I was actually able to make well over 6 figures with that property. And I wish I could tell you that it was something like, a grand financial scheme that I had, wisdom that I had, or tactics that I had to be able to get that and make that amount of money out of that property. But it wasn't. It was one thing, and it's called patience. Patience is something that I rarely hear anyone talk about, and I wonder why, because patience is so integral when it comes to not only real estate but also business. 1 Corinthians 13 says, love is patient and is kind. And so patience, as I've discovered over the years, is not just an emotion. For some reason, a lot of us think that patience is just strictly emotional, and patience is really not. Patience is actually a force. Patience is power. You need patience, you need power in order to be able to deal with some of the stuff that you deal with in business. In real estate, whether you're a seller, whether you're a buyer, a first-time home buyer, buying a house for the first time can be a very daunting process. It can be very stressful. You got financing issues that you're trying to actually overcome, paperwork being requested from you by the loan people. You're going through so many different things, and you're wondering, if the deal doesn't go through, what's going to happen? The deal has to go through. It's a lot of pressure. You're moving from maybe an apartment to a house. And so you got a lot of things going through your mind, and there's a lot of stress because you're spending a lot of money to be able to secure this property and move to this next chapter of life. Similarly, if you're a seller, you may be going through a situation where maybe you've been furloughed, maybe you've lost your job, maybe you've gone through an industry change, and now you got to figure out how you're going to keep this property. How are you going to weather the storm? You have a lot of people coming at you and maybe soliciting you, but in addition to that, you're trying to figure out how you're going to deal with the bank, and you're trying to see what to do and what not to do so quickly, because a lot of times when you're making decisions when it comes to foreclosure and things like that, you got to actually have patience. You need to basically make sure that you're making the right decision, that you're not making a wrong decision, because wrong decisions sometimes lead us into the situations that we're in. And so patience goes all around. It applies to whether you are a real estate agent, whether you are a developer, whether you're an investor, you're a wholesaler, whether you're in business. You need patience because there are valleys and peaks in business. There are valleys and peaks in life. And so having the power and having the resilience and having the force of patience operating in you will cause you and allow you to not only not make sudden wrong decisions, but also allow you to be able to go through some of the tough times. Like we're going through a lot of tough times now. Many people are going through difficult times right now. It's a difficult season in life. This is probably one of the worst years that we've all had in our lifetime. And it takes patience, patience to be able to make sound decisions, make sound quality decisions, not make any sudden shifts that will cause you to regret later on. And so what I found and what I want to share with you, with making over $100,000 in this property and having equity in there to be able to add to my net worth, it really just was, I was patient. And I went through and I had that property during the last market downturn. And I remember getting a lot of solicitation and mail. My back was up against the wall because, I had fallen behind about 2 months. And I was trying to figure out what to do, how I was going to keep it. Similarly, the same stuff that, I help you guys with, and those of you who we help with foreclosure, same thing. I had to figure out what was I going to do? Was I going to make any rash decisions? Was I going to make a sudden decision? And that was where those are part of the times in life that I learned learned the value and the quality and the power of patience. I made a decision, a quality decision, and it's by God's grace that I was able to have the mindset to be able to make that quality decision to say, I'm going to do everything I can to hold on to this property. And that's exactly what happened. But in order to do that, I had to be patient. I had to be patient to know that whatever solution that I decided to take a step forward on, that this is something that I knew will work out, And also, if it didn't work out, the patience pushed me in the position to where I was able to make subsequent plans. So sometimes we think of patience meaning you just sit quietly, you don't do anything. And that's not true. Patience is not passive at all. Patience, like I said, is a force. It's very forceful. It causes you to be in a position where you're tactful. You make provision because you know that if you're going into a business venture and it doesn't work out, then you may have 2 or 3 alternative plans in place in order to make sure that you're not going to be doing anything opposite of being patient. Because a lot of times when we establish businesses or when we're going to do something new, it takes time. I always teach the principle of seed time and harvest and the law of sowing and reaping. And in order to be able to understand that, you have to be able to think like a farmer. A farmer takes seed, he plants it in the ground. There's time that goes by, and that time goes by, and then he sees a harvest. But if the farmer actually goes in and takes the seed out of the ground early, he's going to actually kill everything. And in addition to that, if he actually doesn't have patience, he's never going to be able to see a yield from his crop. So it's the same thing when you're actually establishing a business. It's like a baby. You have to nurture a baby. You have to bring them along, and through time they'll grow up and become a grown-up. Same principles that we actually have to apply to business, to increase the things that we're looking to try to either aspire to be able to get. And I very rarely hear anyone talk about the quality and the power of patience, but you really need patience, especially if, let's say, you're in real estate and you're thinking about making investments. Whether you're going to flip a property or whether you're going to be someone that holds long term, you need patience, because you might go into a project and thinking that you're going to be in and out of the project. You're going to buy a property and flip it in 40 days or 30 days or 2 months, and that 2 months turns into 6 months. 6 months turns into 8 months. What are you going to do? You need patience. And so you have to actually value and understand that patience is a virtue, as many have said, but also patience is power. And I just wanted to really give a quick, testimony, so to speak, or share that patience has been really integral for me in making some of the best decisions that I've made in life. The most successful people that I've seen in real estate have been the ones that actually have and understood this. A developer doesn't make money overnight. Developer actually finds the land and he pulls everyone together, and he either gets his cut, but sometimes it takes years. So when you see the results and you see these big projects being done and they're making millions of dollars, or whatever the amounts that you believe that they're making, well, that is an exercise of patience, just like with everything else, so just wanted to really just highlight that to you all and share that, you may be going through either a difficult time, or you may be going through a situation. Let's say you have a house and you're trying to decide or figure out how to hold on to the property. You're going to need to be able to have patience so that the solutions that are put in place can either work out for you and pan out, or you can actually have them eliminated so you'll see which one will work and which one won't. So sometimes making a lot of money in real estate, or any other venture for that matter, all it does, it requires you to be patient, to be able to be in it for the long term. Know that you're going to actually hold on to it. Most of the top investors that invest in stocks, they actually are patient. They hold on to it for the long term. It takes patience. When the market is doing different things and you're not sure if you should pull out and you sell and recoup your money, or you should stay in. And those that take those calculated bets, some of them pay off very handsomely. So I just wanted to share that quick tidbit of how I was able to actually make 6 figures off a property just by being patient. Not by anything else, not by any financial genius on my part, by the grace of God and being patient. So I hope this helps someone to really understand that patience is a force. You can read more about it in 1 Corinthians 13. And there are other scripts. I may share 1 or 2 other scriptures in the comment section. But just wanted to encourage you to be patient, and also use the patience to not be idle, but use the patience to be able to be resourceful, to use that time to say, okay, I know that if I go into this, things may work out and they may not work out. But being that I know that that's the case, and that's life, sometimes things work out, sometimes things don't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put certain plans in place. I'm going to put contingency plans in place. And I'm going to be wise about my movement, so that in the event that this doesn't go the way that it needs to be, or I don't make this amount of money, or I need income from different sources, this is what I'll have in place. That's a move that patience will produce, because you know that you're going to have to be patient for things to work out. So being that that's the case, you're going to actually take precautionary measures to put certain things in place to allow yourself so that you're not in a frazzled, in an anxious, and in a fearful place when things may not work out. And that's the opposite of patience. Anxiousness, fear, worry, all those things are the opposite of patience. And so you want to make sure that you're not in that, because those things will weaken you and they won't allow you to be able to break through to your next level and get past the issues and the circumstances that you're currently dealing with. Sometimes it's not all about what you figure out. Sometimes there are intangibles. There are things that we need to be able to value that are not necessarily tangible. They're not a formula. They're not a system. They're not all the things that we think that you can watch a YouTube video on and do step 1, 2, and 3, and then voila. These things are intangibles. You can actually hold on to a property for a long time and end up actually setting yourself up for the rest of your life just by being patient. So just wanted to share that information with you all. If you have any comments, please leave your comments below. I look forward to hearing more from you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time, thank you so much for watching.